And we're go. Are we go? Well, then let's do this. All right.
Yay.
Okay, welcome to the Nexus, everybody. How you doing tonight? James at the Idol Smasher, Rosalie, my co-host, is there.
Good evening, everybody.
There she is. See, and we take this time every week to stop and talk and chat and discuss Torah and all really everything. We are streaming live on YouTube and on X as well. So if you're watching on X, I've got you here. We're gonna put a link to the room if you want to come in and chat. As long as you're nice and you got a question, comment, compliment, complaint, suggestion, come on in. We'd love to have you. In fact, that's part of the reason for watch the allergy start now.
Oh,
Rosalie,
yes.
I think I'm allergic to warmth because
Ah.
we get cold and I'm fine, and then
Yep.
and then
Know
when
the
the
know
warm
the
comes,
know the drill. Yep. Hi,
yeah.
trees.
They're not even doing nothing yet, but whew, something's out there.
Yep.
Okay, link is copied.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And I'm going to put a link over here to live chat as well. You'll also see a link to this week's portion, which Torah portion, weekly Torah portion of the Torah we read every week, and we are in Exodus right now, and Aaron's about to get
Tetaveh.
dressed. Tetaveh, yes, this is Exodus. Where am I at here? Exodus 27 verse 20 is where it starts, and we'll talk about that. How you been doing, Rosalie? It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, I know all about the warming and the allergies kicking in. Believe me. Yep, it's going to get worse when they bring all the Easter lilies and everything else in. All the plants are pollinating, and with that cold north breeze that comes in through the shopping cart garage, it runs right to me. I'm the first one hit. It's like, damn. So I've been taking my Benadryl religiously.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Benadryl's my friend too sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. It's a little bit better. Well, I had to take last week off because it was the one time we could get down there and see Mom, and took the girls up there and had a blast. Or down there, down there. Went down to Texas, so got to see Mom. And I couldn't do a hangout because we were actually in Texas, and family time. It was really there for Mom, and they had a great time, great visit. So sorry I had to spring that on you. At least I got on X and let everybody know this time.
Right.
So big doings in the US of A.
Oh
Big
boy.
doings. So so this is how it's going to be, huh? He's a month and a half in. I got to admit, he's doing everything he said he would, and he's
Uh-huh.
doing it like a bull in a china shop.
Yep.
And then we have the resistance. We've got a
Oh
guy
yeah.
threatening.
That Congress.
Oh,
Oh, that was pitiful. That was pathetic. Even for them, that was
yeah.
pathetic.
I'm
You
forced
can't
to
you
agree with
can't
you.
you can't clap for a little boy, and you can't clap for someone who's going into ROTC, West
Yeah,
Point, and then the two families. It's like, yeah, that was above and beyond rude.
those were supposed to be. These are moments done in State of the Union addresses that everybody can unify under,
Uh-huh.
or should be able to. And I think, if I remember correctly, I don't think I was too young when Congress used to do that. It wasn't just so divisive.
Uh-huh. No, this is just downright asinine.
The signs, they made pre-made signs.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see
Yeah.
that little ping pong paddles they made up?
Yeah.
Didn't even know the talking points. Didn't know it was going to be said, but held them up anyway. And they all said that
Yeah,
Rashida
false,
Tlaib.
whatever.
Rashida didn't have. Did you notice that Rashida Tlaib did not have a paddle?
No, I didn't.
But yeah, she wrote. Well, I got a picture of it right here. She wrote on her own little. Oh, that's right picture. Sorry. No, what she wrote on there is, "For goodness sakes, pay your taxes." She held that up when Trump was talking about massive tax cuts to support a
Uh-huh.
bloated system, and so What's her name was there as well. It turns out we learned something new about the lady. Yes, if you can't, if you're listening to us on, we're not. We're not listening at all.
You are evil.
It's not age. Yeah, I'm a little evil, but that's okay. Hey, this one came from you, so I don't think that's
Yes,
any
it
more.
did. Yes, it did. I thought that was pretty fun.
Those are great memes. Yeah, but they held up little signs. Rashida, had to write hers down. No one gave her the memo, I guess. But
Yeah,
all the
whatever.
yelling and the I mean, not even a minute into it, was it? And they're
Yeah.
already yelling and complaining.
Yeah, Mr. Green. Yep. He got thrown out.
See, I worry this is an example that'll be set for the younger generation. We're going to grow up thinking
It's
this
already
is.
been set for the younger generation. I don't know where you've been, but man, we get that crap all the time up here in the north.
In
Yeah,
that, what,
well,
in your legislature and
no, everywhere. They had a basketball game, and one of the coaches and one of the team players turned around and got in a big old fight. They fired the coach. The kid they can't do nothing about. Parents got involved. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, go ahead and blow your chances of getting into a conference and whatever, you know,
unbelievable.
and not have your games count. Yeah, it was sad.
You've got people advocating violence against their neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody not us. That's anybody not us is an enemy. That's their mindset.
Oh, that was the way it was for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Well, they got threats on
Yeah.
Elon Musk's life. They found a guy bombing one of the factories. I think it was a factory. They had shot up a Tesla dealership. You've got
Oh
people drawing
man.
Nazis on Cybertrucks, and there's they're not, but the swastika. And the thing that bugs
Mm-hmm.
me is if you're the one painting the swastika, doesn't that make you just a wee bit more asshole than the person who owns the Cybertruck?
Yeah. And the
See,
fact still
Elon,
remains is that, you know what? He might have made it, but the person that bought it paid for it. And
yes, they
the
did.
dealerships paid for them. So it's like, you're going to jail for a long time. Because them are expensive vehicles. You know what? And they're right straight felonies.
Yeah,
There's no, yeah. It's like, if you're that stupid, go for it. But that's, yeah,
they're blowing up. Apparently, they set fire to a bunch of Tesla charging stations.
really, I didn't know this.
They said it looks deliberate. Yeah, I heard that today. It's crazy, man. And they're getting wilder. The show is to show you wild. If you listen to what these people are saying, they're setting up the people. You don't have to be truthful. They're just putting ideas in people's heads. If you're still watching legacy media, stop and go watch a Three Stooges movie. You'll get more out of it and a good laugh worthy of having too.
Right.
So,
But good things
uh,
are happening. Oh,
yeah,
he pissed in their Cheerios. Aw.
yeah. That kid didn't know different.
No.
And I could read he could read his lips when he says, "I have now have the executive order to make you an honorary Secret Service member." And the kid goes, "Dang,
Yeah.
you know better than to call me you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dang, those were his words. Like, dang,
Yeah.
Yeah, good going, kid.
Yeah.
Here's to you. Um,
And I hope he will actually live long enough to actually be participating in that.
amen.
Mhm.
Long
Right.
and healthy participation.
That's right. That's right. And God bless
Um,
the young man going to West Point too.
yeah,
God
good
bless
for
him
him.
too.
Yeah, see, those are moments that should unify the room. When you
Mm-hmm.
just as a human being, you're going to stand up and support that little kid because
And they didn't do it.
he'd be protecting Democrats too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was tacky. It
It was
was
third
tacky.
class. It was third class all the way.
It's
But
been
you
a
know what?
while.
Go ahead and show your stripes. You know,
Yeah,
go ahead and show everybody. It's like you're gonna be a jackass. Congratulations, you just made it. You got your 15 minutes of fame and doing it for a whole hour and a half.
yeah, yeah. Al Green, did you see what happened today when they
Mm-mm.
moved to censure um, Al Green?
Mm-mm.
And it voted, and they had 10 people come that weren't Republican who voted to censure him because what he did was pretty outrageous. And when he was called to the floor to be censured by the
Mm-hmm.
speaker or by the Secretary of State, no, a speaker. I think it was a speaker. Yeah.
Speaker of the House. Yeah.
Yeah. All the Democrats all banded together and started singing "We Shall Overcome" and wouldn't stop. And he hammered the
Overcome
gavel
what?
3 or 4 times, and then had to
Yeah,
call a recess.
that's when you call. No, that's when you get a recess and you call the police and have their asses arrested.
That wouldn't have been a good optics either.
No, but you know what? Hey, there are rules to the game. Y'all decided you wanted to play the game. These are the rules. You don't like the rules? Quit. Leave.
Yeah. What else happened since we've been talking?
I don't know because I've been at work, so I don't know anything today.
Kanye West, the
Oh,
brilliant
jeez.
and visionary man that he is now wearing a white T-shirt with a black swastika on it,
Mm-hmm.
German style, not the Indian way, but yeah.
Okay.
Uh, he's not kidding. I guess he's serious. I guess he's selling them now. It's getting wilder because, and I feel so sorry for Zelensky in so many ways because he was having a good war, and with all the dirt that he probably had on Hunter and all that money that could be laundered, I mean, he had a cash cow
Mm-hmm.
coming in
Yep.
with old Joe, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Sleepy Joe.
October 7th happened, and suddenly people started, people had something real to care about, and it
Yeah.
took
Way to
all
go,
the attention
Brandon.
away from him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, because people actually care about what's happening there.
Right.
Um, all eyes went there, and there's a lot of people out there that are giving a lot of disinformation, but you can't deny it. Like they're doing here, they're hanging themselves
Mm-hmm.
as well as murdering and raping and taking hostages and blowing stuff up. But um, they're going to get hit. It's the fighting's going to continue. The end of the war was never made. There is no surrender. The war is still underway. The ceasefire ends. When does the ceasefire end, or did it already end?
I'm not sure.
They're upset about you're blocking aid from Gaza. Yes, they are. You know why?
Yeah.
Uh,
Turn
gee,
off the water. Turn off the electricity. Gee.
mm-hmm. And yeah, you don't want to be. Yeah, it's over. It's over, and the Gazans got to go
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else. Got to find a nice home for them. But no,
Well,
there's also
I read that Egypt was going to fund some of the cleanup without the Gazans having to leave. That's the last that I heard of it.
really.
Yeah, like $53 billion.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah,
Egypt.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Egypt,
that's what I
spot
heard.
on, man. Okay, all right, respect. All right, I got there's something else. There's some big news if I can find it real quick. Um, we have who was it? It was I can't remember his name. I'm trying to look for it, and I
What do you do?
okay can't remember the man's name. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is now
Mm-hmm.
meeting with the president of Lebanon.
Okay.
Um, in Saudi Arabia, and if that tells you anything, I think Lebanon's kind of done with the Taliban. I think they're not Taliban with Hezbollah, ISIS. I'm sure Taliban. Why not? Throw them in, but in particular, I think they're just done. And
The
if this,
Houthis. Yeah.
yeah, if these two men are talking, and that Crown Prince is kind of cool. I don't
Yes,
care
he
what you
is.
say. He's a pretty cool dude. All right. Um. Uh. Oh, by the way, congratulations, Your Highness, on the tallest, fastest roller coaster in the world being just finished, or just began, or just finished the track. One or the other out there. It's a Falcon's Flight. It's gonna be something else. I might just have to fly over there just to ride that. Uh, 'cause anyway, no, but if Lebanon and Saudi Arabia are talking in this particular time with guess who's in the White House, and you got him for
Mhm.
4 years, y'all. Um, Yeah, when you say big thing, yeah, big good things are happening. I think good things, big things
Mm-hmm.
and big good things. So,
The funny thing that I liked was like the mayor of Ontario or the governor of Ontario saying, "You gotta do this. We're gonna pull your electricity." Blah blah. You can't do that. You don't have the right to do that. That's federal level. You don't have any rights to that, you idiot. It's like they're just showing their ass.
that's right. I forgot about this guy. Oh, you want to? Oh, so people who are on ventilators or diabetic or you're just going to cut the power because you're mad about the tariffs. You're mad about
Mm-hmm.
the tariffs. Oh,
Yeah, I read something really good. What is it? They have, was it in Sweden? They have free healthcare, and
hmm
some guy got on there. It's like, no, they have the right to free healthcare. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it when you need it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said he had friends that have died, because they can't. There's no doctors, and they can't get in there, and everything else like that. And it's like, okay, that's not cool. But just tell it the way it is. It's like, okay, finally, someone with some balls saying the truth. It's like, yes, yeah, I
I
can see
got
that happening here. No,
I'm gonna have to turn my phone off here. Hang on just a second,
no day.
because I don't think this is gonna stop. All right.
Is it an emergency?
No. If okay, there at last. Oh, we also have to say to a lady who is no longer with us anymore. She's gone. Probably one of the they
She was
they
seriously passed away.
no, look at the date there, 2020 to 2025. Her show's
Oh,
gone.
her show. Yeah, we knew
Yeah.
that.
Read they hired her specifically for what she did, which was trash white people, and she didn't stop. That's a terrible thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some more memes. I got a couple more memes here. Actually, one's a quote from Jordan Peterson. And if you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. The
I think
toothless
for
get
the
ruthless.
last, I think for the past 4 years, we've had enough of that.
Well, they ain't done. But I hope to see if they start riots again. We get a little bit more rooftop Koreans, maybe some rooftop, Polish people, some rooftop Black Americans, some rooftop white dudes, and just the moment one of them picks up a brick, just that's all you have to do. They'll scatter like cockroaches when the light comes on. They won't know what the hell to do with themselves. The moment you set fire to somebody's business or start to punch somebody or take their life, that's how we should. Not be it to me that I would want anybody to break the law, but if you can save a
No,
person's life, um, and you have the right to defend yourself and your property, and in a way you are
yes,
your
you
brother's
do.
keeper. So
Yeah, they're not going to have the police there. They'll have the military because
yeah,
this. Yeah,
let's hope.
so there's a new sheriff in town.
There it is.
I
Never forget,
love it.
folks. Now there are only two genders. And finally, meme of the week: deported illegals could have cured cancer or been an astronaut, which is what people say. Interesting. That's ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? Silence on that. Nobody can come back. I've seen it posted in some
Hmm.
lefty groups and Democrat groups. Nobody can say a thing. Nobody knows what to say back to it because it's true.
Right.
But yeah, I'm never mind. I'm making this one meme of the week. This one's too good. She got to
That,
slip up on the dipper to get a drink of water.
mhm.
All right. We were talking about stuff. We can talk about
Okay, we're done. Let's talk Torah.
let's talk Torah.
He got his
Uh
15 minutes of fame.
yes. Um but now we're getting into Adam's getting dressed, and just as Israel's getting dressed. Because we were building the Mishkan last week, weren't we? Yeah.
Hmm.
We weren't here to talk about that. And now we're learning about the high priest and his sons.
Hmm.
And I want to get to the breastplate with the jewels in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me find that here. We're gonna get in there. The link here. There's a link in the description. There's a link in the chat. And if you we're at kabod.org, go to Learning and Values, the current Parsha text, and that you can go to there. It's a pretty easy translation. They kind of add, if it's in bold, that's Stam Torah. Um,
Mhm.
um,
It's in 28:17.
and then there'll be anything in thinner text will be to connect dots to without adding to the text. You understand it? It's there to in
Hmm.
other words, yeah, okay. So if you see that there, that's not necessarily about adding stuff, but it's there to guide you along to make it more or easily acceptable to non-Jewish, non-Hebrew readers. Um, okay, where are we at here?
28:17 is where it is.
4 rows of gems. Okay, comprised of this. Okay, now let me get some Rashi's commentary going over here. This is what I've been curious about. I haven't had time to study much today, sadly. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here, and why we want you to come in and join us on this. Okay. A breastplate of judgment. It is so called because it atones for miscarriage of justice. Another explanation, it's called, let me see if I can. I got him this time. I got him. And you didn't even need to remind me this time.
Yay.
Um, is that, uh, Mish, hmm, Mish, I can't, it's hard to read. It's digital.
What?
Proving a claim for the term that may be used in one of these senses that claims of parties in a lawsuit, the verdict, and the sentence, whether it be punishment of death, punishment of lashes, or monetary punishment, and it is used here in the second sense, that of clarification of a matter. For the breastplate makes its statements explicit and clear. They glowed, didn't they?
Yes.
So let's see. Um, must be square, then folded over, a span long and a span wide, hand breadth. Set it with gems mounted in gold settings. These are the 4 rows of gems. The first row must comprise of carnelian,
Mm-hmm.
an emerald, and a topaz. I'm gonna look up carnelian real quick here. Reddish orange, brown, red variety of uh, ca- uh, Chalcedony. Okay,
Chalcedony.
Chalcedony. um, the second row, a red garnet, a sapphire, and a diamond. Third row, a zircon, an agate, and an amethyst. Fourth row, an aquamarine, an onyx, and a jasper. Now, like in the Stone Edition here, and even in the Hertz, and I haven't looked at this in the Gutnick today, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they use completely different names. The Hebrew
Right.
words is what they use. We have no idea what they're talking about, and this is why I like going to Kabod, because it gives you it tells you straight up what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Carnelian. What's the other one here that I was a zircon? Is that like
A zircon. That's a zircon is the December birthstone. It has a dual refraction, so it glitters and throws more color than diamond. And
oh,
technically, a lot of times, the December one they come in they come in different colors, but the one for December is like a sky blue or a baby blue.
okay. We know aquamarine, we know an onyx.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see a
Jasper is a
jasper.
stone. It's like green with red dots or something like that, I think. But actually, what it says down below there, it says that all the stones were according to the order of their birth was the order of the stones. The carnelian was for Reuben, the emerald for Simeon, and so on for all of them.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right.
And everybody knows topaz comes in a variety of colors as well.
Right.
So does sapphire. See, they were very specific on the red garnet because garnet comes in like brown and orange and green. A couple colors, different colors of green, a dark green and one that's a couple shades lighter than that. And agate can
Yeah.
come in different colors as well. It's like a bluish color, like agate can be like the color of, well, if anybody has windows, the windows blue, that
Hmm.
the outlines on the top, it's similar to those colors.
I used to have some agate. It was it was kind of clear. Mine was kind of clear, but
Mm-hmm.
it had you put them in a bowl. They're quite beautiful. Okay, so they bear the names of the 12 tribes. I'll be darned.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's in the procession of birth. So like carnelian would be for Reuben, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like that.
Huh. It never hit me quite like that before. I knew that they had glowed when it was, or I heard that one of them would glow and tell you when it was safe to cross the Jordan, or it helped in organizing. Now it makes complete sense. Um, now that I get an idea of what they looked like, and oh my goodness, that's okay. So let's see, Genesis. What was it? Genesis. All the tribes. I got to look this up here. Let me go to my other Hebrew because it's just much quicker. We're going to go to Genesis. Um, I'm looking for the blessings. Here we go. So, um, so it's Reuben,
Mm-hmm. Use the firstborn.
and then Simeon
Mm-hmm.
and Levi,
Mm-hmm.
um, then Judah. So Judah would be the fourth stone.
Judah's
If
the fourth. Judah's the fourth stone.
it looks like he's the fourth born. This is Genesis 49, by the way, y'all.
So he'd be
Um,
a garnet.
first red garnet. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
very pretty.
Yep, it's a January birthstone. Like I said, it can come in rhodolite, which is like a purplish red hue, um, green grossular, which is like a dark grass green, not like what is it? Not like August's birthstone on the peridot. It's darker.
And the topaz, I guess, would be Levi.
Yes.
Huh. If I'm looking at this right, I'm not a rabbi. I'm going by just rabbit holes. Torah is great for rabbit holes. It's just deep. Um, that is interesting. Well, see, they've they've done a lot of work at Chabad.
Mm-hmm.
They've added a lot more. Moved some furniture around a little bit and made things easier. Well, that's good to know. I learned something. I came to realize something now. Yeah, so shoulder straps. He's got a turban he has to wear. Of course, the breastplate.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about that. The robe.
Right.
All these things that we're looking at here, by the way, from last Parsha too. These were all willingly given by the people. They
Mm-hmm.
were contributions. They weren't conscripted. They weren't taxed. This is and everybody gave, of course, willingly. Because they read the Torah or maybe they've been taught the Torah anyway by this point.
Oral Torah too. So Torah
We
Shem, which
don't
is the
we
oral
don't
Torah.
happen to. We know what happened to what's his name, to Abel, or to Cain,
Mm-hmm.
who fed himself before God. Aaron will, let's see, it must be worn on the, talking about the turban. You must place it over a cord of turquoise wool, which must pass over the turban. It must be placed below the front of the turban. It must be
Mm-hmm.
worn on Aaron's forehead, and Aaron will effect atonement for the sin regarding the sacred offerings that the Israelites consecrate, i.e., for
Mm-hmm.
any of their holy gifts. It must always be on Aaron's forehead in order to ensure them of God's favor. Aaron will bear, this is an interesting from Rashi, because, Aaron will effect atonement for the sin regarding the sacred offerings. And that could go, people could use that in many different ways, wrongly. The word connotes forgiveness, but nevertheless, it does not lose its literal meaning. Aaron bears the burden of the sin, and thus the sin is removed from the sacred offerings.
Mm-hmm.
Tunic. Okay. A lot's going on here. It's very
Mm-hmm.
technical. Very technical. Um, there's a lot going on. I don't want to get too deep into it, but give it a read.
Yeah,
It's there.
and use Rashi's commentary too, because that'll explain a lot of it too.
Yeah, it's not nearly as dry. It is a dry read this week. Um, but
Yeah, this is what Aaron has to wear. I mean, it says the breastplate, the ephod, the robe, the checkered tunic, the turban, the sash, and the forehead plate, and the trousers. All that wool on that heat. Oh,
oy, indeed. There's something I used to kind of laugh at or chuckle about because I didn't understand it. Is why clip your, because God says the high priest must be careful to keep his eyebrows trimmed, and you're thinking, why eyebrows? It's because when you're a priest, there isn't much to see, but this really is all
mm-hmm.
you get, and it's hard to come up to somebody and you want to be serious, and you're talking about something that's wrong or something you have to make right. You're making an offering for something, and you look into the high priest, and he's got, because I've seen an old man that had it like that, and it was just wild. I was like, oh, that is distracting. I just can't pay attention to the darn thing he says because his little arms are coming out of his
Mm-hmm.
forehead, and that's why. That's why. Because it's the only thing you see, so make it look good. Don't you know? Okay, yeah. I guess the point I'm trying to make, and I'm taking a long way to get there, when it's like, imagine a world without war. I mean, knowing war no more. If this could very well be the end of it. We probably have two or three little things we need to tie up, but I think the act of war is about to come to an end. Now they have to know war. I mean, you want Amalek forgotten, but it's in the Torah. How can you truly forget Amalek? It's because he's not gone yet.
That's
He's
right.
still here. He's like that clown that you used to punch that blow up, toy clown. You
Mm-hmm.
punch him when he comes back up. That's Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because the
that's
King Saul fucked that up, didn't he?
yeah.
Yep. You're supposed to kill everybody, not let them live, and not let their animals live. You're supposed to kill everyone.
hmm
And so they said that, well, they weren't looking. He had sex with somebody and got him pregnant. So that's before they end up actually killing him. So it's like, okay.
I mean, how corrupt do you have to be to where your animals have to be put to death? There's a
Exactly.
biblical commandment against doing harm to animals, a universal for all mankind biblical commandment not to do harm to animals. And why would God, desperate times call for desperate measures? Don't they? Well,
Mhm.
everyone wants to talk peace. We've got some warlords here and there, which can be quashed pretty easily.
Mhm.
Israel are a patient people. They got more patience than I do, but even their patience is running out.
Yeah.
As they should.
They've
Uh,
they've suffered enough, I think.
yeah, God's been mad at them, but he's also let them know, okay, let's move on. It's time to get this show on the road, as they say. Get this shul on the road. Go home, my Israelites. Go home where you belong. Apparently, there's a big baby boom over there. You want to laugh at circumcision, oh Europeans?
Mhm.
It works. Uh, um, I just think the Ukraine, the Russia thing. Nobody likes it.
Mm-mm.
You can virtue signal, and we have people who have no lives and are desperate. Will hold up the Ukrainian flag. Um, for some reason, no one's going to hold up the Russian flag, and I think one's about as good as the other. But that's.
Mhm.
I mean, imagine if we have someone come in and just had the attitude of let's make a deal, let's get this over with, let's make peace, let's stop the killing, stop the dying, and that attitude starts to spread.
Oh boy, I just got something down there in 40. A tenth of a fine flour means a tenth of an ephah, which is the volume of 43 and 1/5 eggs. That's what a tenth of an ephah is.
43 eggs.
43 and 1/5 eggs. Yep, it says that. It says that in it's verse 40 in the sixth portion, chapter 29.
I see you. I always thought a ephah was a handful. Oh no, a
Which is
bushel, equivalent to a bushel. Oh, okay. Which would be 64 U.S. pints by
well,
today's standards,
an
apparently.
ephah, a full ephah might be, but a tenth of it, 43 and 1/5 eggs. Okay. At least we have something there that actually says what it could possibly be. That's a
43
first.
and a fifth. So you got a dozen eggs. Now just take them out of there and put them.
It'd be 4 dozen eggs minus 6
That's okay.
ish.
Ephah is a bushel or a large amount. It's not a
Hmm.
handful. I guess the handful's what they take out and throw on the altar.
Yeah,
Um.
out of that tenth. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. I said that wrong. Because if there's 48 eggs in 4 dozen, you might want to take out.
That's 5.
Yeah, I said 6. I wasn't even paying attention. It just fell out of my mouth. So what's a fifth of an egg? I don't want to know.
So, yeah.
Is that before it's scrambled up, or what part of the white or the yolk are you talking about?
And I'm going to assume chicken eggs.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, ostrich eggs. That'd be a big doing.
Yeah, or duck or geese.
Yeah. Quail.
Yeah, I know.
43 eggs, about the size of a volleyball.
Pretty much. Does not say. Yeah, this a quart of a hen is which 3 log, whatever a log would, which is 3 log. I have no idea what 3 log is. I want to be a little more explanatory.
Log. Log measurement. 2 foot intervals. Log as measurement. A unit of volume, a method of measuring tree and log volume, or a logarithmic scale used in various scientific mathematical applications. In the biblical context, here we go. A log was a liquid measure roughly equivalent to a little over half a liter, or
Okay.
17 U.S. fluid ounces.
How many?
There's your hen of
17
wine.
fluid ounces.
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be 34. 17 is 50. So it'd be a little more than, let's see, a half gallon, 64 ounces. Yeah, I know. So it'd be less than a half a gallon.
A good dose of wine. For pouring into the bowls, as we have learned in Tractate Sukkah, which we could go to, there are 2 silver bowls on the top of the altar, pierced at the bottom with 2 thin holes like nostrils. The priests poured the wine into its bowl, and it would flow out through the hole and fall onto the roof of the altar. And from there it ran down into the subterranean channels in the case of the altar of the permanent temple, and in the case of the copper altar in the tabernacle, it would run down directly from the altar to the ground. So that is a
Okay.
libation offering. Okay. Thank you, Kabod. Y'all rock.
Yes.
Grain offerings brought with libations completely burned on the altar, and the order in which they are brought up first is the lambs and then grain offerings, as it says, ascent offerings and grain offerings.
Well,
So,
you get the fat and the grease from the lamb. That'll help burn up everything else. That kind of sort of makes sense.
yeah,
And you throw the wine on it, there's your alcohol. It'll burn more too.
I'll be darned. A pleasing aroma. This was that's what is described pretty much. Genesis says pretty much the same thing in Genesis 9
Mm-hmm.
when Noah made an offering, and it was a pleasing aroma to God. Hmm. Hmm. There I will convene with you, mouth to mouth. It's not face to face, it's mouth to mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing God down into the world and raising the world up to meet God halfway. That's pretty much the whole point of Judaism. That's, Christianity wants to give you stuff in heaven, and it's a great thing. It's a great, beautiful thing to have. And the same goes for our Muslim brothers and sisters. They have a heaven, and things are going to be better there. And in Judaism, we're making heaven here and now for the living by the command of a living God. The whole point is to build a just, balanced world. Balance. World peace. No more war. You'll have death and taxes, I'm sure. There's going to be, people still kind of suck, y'all. We got a long ways to go, in my opinion. But the idea of no more
Mm-hmm.
war, I'm not even going to talk Mashiach. I'm not going to talk about bread on trees. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just talking about, I want you to imagine a world where you don't have any more war. And the threat of it isn't really there in your mind either. Where people don't want to hear about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to make it happen. And they'll do whatever they can to stop it within reason. But there wouldn't be. Just imagine that. Not knowing of war. You're not, or not knowing war, not being in war, not either. It won't be in your life. It'll be in the history books. You know, just something to consider. That's what why the Jews? They say I've had that people ask me, and other people come up and who know who I am or know of me or whatnot, and kind of caught on that I don't ever work Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Well, I'm not going to tell them there while I'm on the clock, but I'll say here it's to build. It's to bring back paradise. The natural state of man was of paradise, and we can have it. And it's right here. Actually, it's already here. We have to become better attuned as a species, and it will happen.
We
That's
have to.
Judaism.
We're not supposed to play on our animalistic nature.
No, ma'am, we are not. We become very destructive when we go that way. We're not normal. We're not mammals. I mean, yeah, we have character. We are not animals. And when we go animalistic, we are a decadent, horrible, horrible people. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, the whole thing is the whole thing about a kaf, the Hebrew word for a kaf, it has like kind of an overhanging. Um, it's like a stick with it's got an overhang right here, and it's like and it means monkey. And the idea is you have to control your monkey. You have to put a leash on that monkey, which you are the monkey. You are a monkey is one of the things God needed to create the universe. One of the 22
Wow.
letters of the Hebrew Bible is a monkey. So, God needed a monkey.
Okay, I just learned something here too, because
Uh,
I'm down in the half Torah.
oh, you're already there.
Yeah,
Well,
verse 3.
do you want to read
Very
it today?
what, the half Torah? No, I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care.
Why not?
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it. No worries.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that's all we got. Ms.
Okay, so
Rosalie.
we're going to the half Torah. It's 1 Samuel chapter 15:1, and it goes down. I don't know how long. Okay, 1. And Samuel said to Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over all Israel. Now hearken the voice of the words of the Lord." So the Lord of hosts said, "I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him on the way when he came up out of Egypt. Go, and you shall smite Amalek, and you shall utterly destroy all that is his, and you shall not have pity on him, and you shall slay both man and woman, infant, suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey." I'm going to stop here for a second because the commentary is ox and sheep, for they were sorcerers and they would change themselves to resemble animals. That's why you kill the animals. And Saul called the people together, and he counted them for Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came as far as the city of Amalek, and he fought in the valley. And Saul said to the Kenite, which I'm assuming is, Moses' father-in-law. I forgot his name.
Jethro.
Thank you, Jethro, because that's who they basically call the Kenite, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. "Turn away and go down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. And you did kindness with all the children of Israel when they went up out of Egypt." And the Kenites turned away from the midst of Amalek. And Saul smote Amalek from Havilah until you come to Shur, which is in front of Egypt. And he seized Agag, the king of the Amalek, alive, and he completely destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. And Saul and the people had pity on Agag, and on the best sheep and cattle, and the fatlings, and on the fattened sheep, and all that was good. And they did not want to destroy them, but everything which was vile and feeble they utterly destroyed. And the word of the Lord came to Samuel, saying, "I regret that I have made Saul king, for he has turned his back from following me, and he has not fulfilled my words." And it distressed Samuel, and he cried out to the Lord all night. And Samuel arose early in the morning to meet Saul, and it was told to Samuel, saying, "Saul has come to Carmel, and behold, he is setting up a place for himself." And he passed and went down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, "May you be blessed of the Lord. I have fulfilled the word of the Lord." And Samuel said, "What then is this bleating of sheep in my ears, and the lowing of oxen which I hear?" And Saul said, they brought them from the Amalekites, for the people had pity on the best of the sheep and the oxen, in order to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. And Samuel said to Saul, desist, and I shall tell you what the Lord spoke to me last night. And he said to him, speak. And Samuel said, even if you were small in your own eyes, you are not the head of the tribes of Israel, and the Lord anointed you as king over Israel. And the Lord sent you out on a mission and said, go, and you shall utterly destroy sinners, the Amalekites, and you shall wage war against them until they destroy them. Now, why did you not hearken to the voice of the Lord? But you flew upon the spoil, and you did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. And Saul said to Samuel, yes, I did hearken the voice of the Lord. I did go on the mission on which the Lord sent me, and I brought Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. And the people took from the spoil the sheep and the oxen, the best of the band, to sacrifice to your God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, has the Lord as much desired in burnt offerings and peace offerings as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than a peace offering. To hearken is better than the fat of the rams. For rebellion is a sin of divination, and stubbornness as it is as idolatry and teraphim. Since you rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you from being a king. And Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I transgressed the Lord's command and your words, for I fear the people, and I hearkened their voice. Now forgive now my sin, and return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to the Lord. And Samuel said to Saul, I shall not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you from being king over Israel. And Samuel turned to go, and he seized the skirt of his robe and tore it. And Samuel said to him, the Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and has given it to the fellow who is better than you. And also the strength of Israel will neither lie nor repent, for he is not a man to repent. And he said, I have sinned. Now honor me now in the presence of the elders of my people and in the presence of Israel, and return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to the Lord your God. And Samuel returned after Saul, and Saul prostrated himself to the Lord. Samuel said, bring Agag, the king of Amalek, near to me. And Agag went to him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death has turned. And Samuel said, as your sword bereaved women, so will your mother be bereaved among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. And Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house in Gilboa of Saul. And that ends the reading.
And he cut him into pieces.
Yep.
Okay. Rebellion is as the sin of divination, and stubbornness is as idolatry and teraphim.
Mm-hmm.
Commentary. And like the penalty for idolatry and teraphim, I'm going to look up teraphim.
Yep.
I'm not sure Oh, idols. Disgraceful things.
Ooh.
Idols. Images or cult objects used as domestic deities or oracles, which apparently were popular at the time. So is the penalty for stubbornness. Jonathan renders, for as the sin of a people who divine, so is the sin of any man who disobeys the word of the Lord. And as the sins of a nation who has strayed after idols, so the sin of any person who adds to the words of a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Divination, seeing into the future. Rebellion. I mean, no specific sins were mentioned. They could have mentioned it. I mean, Those are the words that the prophet chose. Stubbornness is as idolatry. I can understand that. I can see that. But rebellion as the sin of is as the sin of divination. That is kind of interesting. Something to chew on. I thought I turned my phone off, and I didn't. It's off now.
Okay.
Nobody can call me.
Yeah, I'm interested in like 27. As Samuel turned to go, and he sees the skirt of his robe, and it tore. He sees the commentary. According to the simple interpretation, the implication is when Saul turned to go away from following Saul. Excuse me. When Samuel turned to go away from Saul, Saul sees the skirt of Samuel's robe. Since Saul was entreating him to return until he would prostrate himself in Gilgal, where the tent of the meeting had been. In Midrash Agadah, however, Amoraim differed on this point. Some say that Saul tore Samuel's robe, and some say that Samuel tore Saul's robe, thereby giving over to him a sign that whoever would sever the skirt of his robe would reign in his place. And that is what Saul said to David on the day he severed the robe. I know that you will reign.
Huh. Hmm.
And then there was a fun piece. And he hewed, when he hewed up Agag, he cut him into 4 pieces. There is no similarity to this word. The Targum refers of Euphasha, and in our Gemara, i.e. TB Bets 33b, we find he broke off a branch of Euphasha and he gave us each several sticks, meaning that he split.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Samuel did it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it had to be done. And there's going to be a bit more carnage before we get peace.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think it's close. Let's hope we get as many people on the ark as we can. When I say on the ark, I mean the Torah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do this. I say every Thursday, and then work gives me a night I had to work, and then so I'll be here next Thursday. Didn't even think that we've been planning this trip for a month and a half. Already got the rental car and everything, and then it didn't even dawn on me. I don't think I'm doing anything but being right here next Thursday, which
Okay.
is when Purim starts. So
Oh boy.
maybe we'll read
It's Esther
uh,
and Boo and
Esther.
Boo Hammond and
Yes,
yay.
and to the point where I'm where I can't boo, or I don't know who to boo or who to cheer for.
Right.
That was
Well,
funny.
Mordecai, yay, take a sip.
Yeah.
Haman, boo, take a sip. But Mordecai, yay, take a sip. Yeah. Uncle Mike has some great Purim parties.
Yes, I bet he does.
Oh, I love watching it. It's like, you gonna do it again this year? I don't know. It's like, I don't know. His dad's not doing so good, so I don't know if he's gonna be doing it again or not. But it seems like they have their chips and their munchies and everything, and their cocktails. So he has his rum and coke.
Well, that's all right. I have to go back and watch.
Oh, they're fun.
Well, maybe we'll do a little Purim party next Thursday,
Yeah, we'll
right
see.
here in the
Well,
next.
yep.
All right. Every Thursday or on Thursdays, just about every Thursday. Most Thursdays, you're going to find us right here. We're on Rumble. We broadcast also on YouTube and on Twitter at the Idol Smasher. I'm James. That's Rosalie there. And
Yep.
Rosalie, anything else before we skedaddle?
And Shabbat Shalom for everybody. Refuah Shalima if you need it, because God is the free doctor. And
Amen.
yep. And peace, y'all.
Peace. Y'all be well. We'll hope to see you next week, and hope you can join in. We'd love to have you here. Be well, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Roger that, intent for it.